today. And so we are so excited to be here. June business meeting. I'm going to continue to let people in the waiting room. We have wrapped up Bold. We have wrapped up, what is it? We're going into week 11 or 12 of COVID. And you guys have been knocking it out of the park. So we're excited to celebrate that with you guys, come together as a family. We have our rep from Keller Mortgage with us today.
I'm here. Hello, team.
So Scott, I've got a couple of little things we're going to celebrate together, and then I'm going to let you jump in. You have the ability, you should have the ability to share your screen. So
yep, I do.
I know you said you had a presentation for us. So we got a great business meeting today. And I'm excited to get us started. So first thing we always do is tell me something good. Let's celebrate the wins. Who has some wins to share?
Well, I try to get this on my laptop so Katie and I can be together. She has, how many listings do you have? She has 3, I think, and they are good. So we need to, get them. And Sarah and I are about to have 2 listings, one here in Prattville and one in Millbrook. So anyway, so we're excited.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And for those of you that don't know Pinnacle Group, they're our newest mega agent team, and they're located in Prattville. So if you guys need help in the Prattville Millbrook area, they are there and part of our family. So we're excited to have you guys join us, and we're excited for our team to get to know you. And Rebecca, I think a lot of people got to know you through Ignite. So we're happy to have you guys. Who else has some wins? Don't make me call you out, Tiffany Alexander.
Yes, I have a win. I made the board. Yeah! I'm excited about that.
Yes, you did. And we were texting yesterday, Tiffany. What were you saying?
Well, I was talking about I guess my testimony would be the foundation and how there's a big difference between starting things the right way and enlisting as much help as you can versus doing it your own way. And so, I mean, I'll be the first to say it's, just look at my real estate journey. You can go from trying to do it your way or a year and a half of trying to do it my way, and then starting over and getting that foundation right. And then in the blink of an eye, everything just start happening. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. We are just thrilled and happy for you. We were talking yesterday, Tiffany. Tiffany, I don't know if you knew this. You were my very first, brand new team leader interview by myself. So I'm thrilled to see you succeed.
I remember I was
going to continue on that path. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was going to say, I think I was Katie's first agent that she.
Yes, you were. You were. And now you're on the leaderboard. Look at that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Anybody else have some wins to share?
This is Carol. I have a closing that should be happening at the end of this month with the buyer that I've had some crazy encounters with. But so I'm excited about that. I'll be more excited when we close.
That's awesome, Shacarol. And you got that from lead generating your sphere in Ignite. So that's awesome. And if you guys need a bulldog negotiator, Shacarol Green, she looks timid and quiet, but she will go after it. So don't let her looks deceive you. And we have just some pretty awesome things to celebrate. We closed up May. Our top teams were McElroy and Company, the Hales team. We have our individuals, Miss Gloria Frazier still at number 1, Vicki Wadsworth, Taisha Andrews, Tamara Hockenhall, Laquan Hurd, Brian Wynn, Deborah Caldwell, Eva Lynn Frieden, Jimmy Ann Campbell, and Julie Detweiler. And for the first time ever, we have somebody in the PC column since we have launched the program, and we have Miss Tiffany Alexander. So I'm proud of you guys. Making the top during a normal market is a big deal, and you guys are just powering through this pandemic and loving on your people, and we found out that people still need to buy and sell, and we're here to help them. So that leads us to Keller Mortgage. And Scott, will you tell us a little bit about Keller Mortgage and how we can use that to help our clients?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having us on today. My name's Scott Caseby. I'm a sales manager with Keller Mortgage. So I'd be happy to help out any of those who have not used Keller Mortgage before. After this meeting, if you have any questions, I'll give you all my contact information. You can reach out to me. Katie, has anyone in your office used Keller Mortgage at all?
I think a couple of people.
A couple people have tried? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, go through a quick slideshow, then we'll do a Q&A. I'm also going to show you how to use our website, which is, I think, the coolest part about today's presentation. So I'll go ahead and share screen here. I think, Katie, it says you might have accidentally disabled it for me.
Let's see how to enable it. Would you know where I can click? Should I just unshare mine?
Yeah, that might be it. You might need to unshare yours. I think that's what you need to do, actually.
Okay.
Because I don't think more
Here
than
we
one
go.
person. Okay. It's still not letting me. That's okay. I can still start the
Okay, I'll try to figure
presentation.
this out. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm not perfect with Zoom either. But anyway, okay. So a little bit about Keller Mortgage. So essentially, Keller Mortgage, what we offer every client of yours is called a 0+ loan. And so what that stands for is 0 lender fees. Plus, if your loan amount's above $150,000, we give you a $1,000 credit towards third-party fees. So again, no matter what your loan amount is, we don't charge any lender fees. And then if you're above $150,000, we give you a bonus $1,000 credit, lender credit towards your third-party fees. Your third-party fees would include pretty much 2 things: your title policy and your appraisal. So again, at Keller Mortgage, we focus on buyer savings. It's exclusive to Keller Williams agents. So buyer's agents, as well as anyone who's listing a property. As long as there's a Keller Williams agent on the buyer side or seller side of the transaction, that client buying that house can access Keller Mortgage and our buyer savings. We also do offer refinancing. So a lot of agents are asking, do we offer refinances at Keller Mortgage? Yes, we do. And we also can do cash out refis. So a lot of agents are also asking if we can access your equity lines and your equity position to do a cash out. And yes, the answer to that is yes, we can. So in the middle of this here, it looks like, I'll go ahead and stop here. It looks like I can share screen
You
now.
should be able to, share now.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. All right, so can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so we'll take it to the top here. Again, what is 0+? Again, on the right-hand side, you'll kind of just see a little overview. We'll give you an example too of what we call buyer savings on an average $250,000 loan. But again, we have 0 lender fees, $1,000 credit at closing, plus a discounted interest rate. So on average, our interest rates are typically around 1/8% to 1/4% better than the competition as well. We already went through who Keller Williams or Keller Mortgage is exclusive to. Here is an example of our buyer savings. So how much your buyers are going to save on an average $250,000 loan amount. In the industry, you'll see here $1,500 in lender fees is what we see other lenders charging. They'll label them different things, as you all already know: processing fees, underwriting fees, loan administration fees, funding fees, you name it. On average, we're seeing lenders charge roughly $1,500 flat fee for any purchase mortgage loan. So that's where we save you. We waive our lender fees, plus we give you the $1,000 lender credit for loan amounts above $150,000. And then plus we have discounted interest rates. So the example I'll use is if your local lender or Wells Fargo or Chase is offering your client a 4%, most of the time Keller Mortgage is going to be at least at a 3.875. In order for that other lender to access a low rate of Keller Mortgage is offering of a 3.875, typically it will cost that lender some discount points. So that's why we say we have a discounted interest rate. On average, it would cost a client with another lender that to access our 3.875, it would cost them 0.5% in origination. So that's where you see that third column here of where we're saving your buyer money. Not only are we saving them money on their cash to close, but also if our rates are lower than typical lenders, we are saving them throughout the life of the loan and interest, obviously, as well. So on average, we're saving a client for a $250,000 loan, which is our average loan amount, $3,750. All right, the value to the clients. We do consider ourselves to have the best professionals in the industry. I've got David Dropsy here on the call with us. David, you want to say hello real quick?
Yeah, hi. Hi, everybody. David Dropsy, Senior Loan Officer at Keller with Scott.
Yes, absolutely. He's one of our top loan officers here. We are very picky at the loan officers that we hire. We make sure that they all have a lot of experience. Right now, on average, we have 10 plus years of mortgage lending experience from all of our sales members. So that's huge for us. That's one benefit to your clients. Obviously, we've already talked about the discounted interest rate. We actually pay for a third-party service where we monitor all major lenders of where they're locking their rates in, and we purposely undercut them. And I'll explain how we still profit as a company, but we do monitor, again, like I said, where other lenders are locking their rates in and purposely undercut them. That's how we're able to confidently tell you we offer discounted interest rates. Another benefit to you and your clients, day one appraisal orders. We order appraisals on day one as soon as we get your purchase contract. The reason why we do that and we don't wait past inspection period is because we do not collect that appraisal fee until your loan closes. So if for any reason your buyers back out of the purchase agreement, most of the time it's for a home inspection, but if there's any reason at all your buyers back out of the purchase agreement, they're not held liable for that $400 or $500 appraisal fee. So it's like a free insurance policy on your appraisal, and that's why we call it day one appraisals. So it helps us close loans a lot quicker. Another benefit to your clients is technology. I'll touch base on this a little bit more with how they apply with us and upload documents for underwriting. And then results. We closed 12,000 units last year for almost $3 billion in volume. And with that, we closed 99.6 of our purchase transactions on time. So that's a huge accomplishment. With that being said, if you see this top number here, ever since we've been in existence, we've saved clients almost $125 million on their mortgage transaction, their cash to close, and their interest rate. So those are the benefits to your clients and their savings. Benefits here and the value to you guys, KW agents. Item of value to give to your clients. So it's obviously something that separates you from the competition, that you have access to Keller Mortgage. We do see it as a huge advantage to listings. We'll show you a little bit about our website as well here, but you have some marketing material that we've seen huge increase in call volumes for listings when you put save thousands on your signs. So there's some different marketing tools that you guys can use, but it's definitely an advantage for agents. Also, one of the main reasons we're here is to protect your commissions. With our buyer savings, with our best price mortgage loan out there in the industry, we're hoping that we protect your commission in almost every scenario. And again, standing apart from anyone in the real estate industry by being able to access us. Tool for business. So this is where I was going to kind of dig into a little bit about comparing a pre-approval letter versus a pre-qualification letter, how the technology is an advantage for you and your clients. When your clients apply, all the applications are done online, and I'll show you how to refer us your first client if you'd like to. And within the technology system, at the end of submitting their information about income, assets, where they work, how much they make, things of that nature, a basic 1003 application, at the end of it, it will ask them to upload income documents based on their employment status, whether W-2, retired, self-employed. It will ask them to start uploading income documents. Most of the time, when a loan officer receives a fully submitted application, they have all the income documents to look at as well. So when they first call your client, they've got not only the full application with the credit pull, but they've also got all the income documents in. We have a full team of fully licensed underwriters reviewing pre-approvals right when your customer applies, within a few hours, believe it or not. That underwriter who is fully licensed will be your same underwriter from start to finish. So not only would you have David as your loan officer from start to finish on a file, but you'll also have that underwriter, which is huge for that underwriter being able to familiarize himself with your clients and not ask too much in terms of documentation. So again, our technology really allows your customers to speak directly with our underwriters through that system when they request documents and upload documents for loan approval. Our goal is to make sure that when your clients are pre-approved, the only thing that they need once they're in contract is an appraisal and homeowner's insurance quote. Doesn't happen every time, but that's our goal. And we utilize technology to leverage ourselves at the beginning of the process. A little bit about the Keller Mortgage experience. So I'm actually going to just hop in here to our website real quick. So everyone, believe it or not, all of you have access to Keller Mortgage right now. Used to be when we first started, you had to apply to use Keller Mortgage, go through a course or two, but now it's open to everyone. So if you go to kellermortgage.com, you'll see in the top right, you will have your agent portal login. It's like a little red flag in the top right. And this is kind of a test file here for us to use. This is what you guys will all see in terms of your own portal when you log in. The first thing I will show you is these 4 boxes here. How to refer us your first client. So you would basically just click here and you put in your customer's name, email address, make sure that it's the correct state as well. And then, whether you can also choose to text your buyer the link as well, most email, but your name and email address, and then you can hit send pre-approval letter or pre-approval link. Now, if you want to go in and choose preferred loan officer, let's say, and most clients do want to work with a preferred loan officer eventually. Chances are when you submit your first link to your first buyer, you will get the first available loan officer to call you. Chances are you will link up with that loan officer and like to work with them. But if for some reason, things don't mesh very well, you can obviously come in. If someone in your office says, "Oh, I've worked with David, he's great," you can come in here and select your own primary loan officer. And this little button down here is how you would do that. So change primary loan officer, and then you would go through and hit add more, and then find your preferred loan officer. Now this is for specifically Texas, so we'll go ahead and change to Alabama here. Change loan officer, and see here's David Dropsy. All right, so you can see he's green, it means he's available, and the red plus button is how you would add him into your preferred loan officer network. So you can always use David for your referrals. If you see some of them are grayed out, that's because they're at capacity for their customer service levels. So if a loan officer has too many loan files going, they will gray themselves out until they're caught up. Or it may be that they just have too many preferred agents at this time, and you may never see them. You never know. But anyway, here's how you add David as your preferred loan officer. Just hit the plus button, and notice his name goes away. You just hit back. You'll notice here there are actually a couple different preferred loan officers in this example. Mike Baker is one, and David Dropsy. Mike Baker is currently the first one in there. So if you wanted to change to David Dropsy, you would just simply go in and hit the green button for David Dropsy, and his information would come up, and his beautiful little picture there as well. So that's how you add a preferred loan officer. If I go back to the home screen here, some other features you see here is deals. You can check on all the status for all deals that you have going with David or any loan officer here. It will give you appraisal status, loan status, property type, whether it's under contract or not. And over here is a couple other tools too. You will never have to use this, but this is like an SOS button. If for some reason you can't get a hold of your loan officer, you can hit this button, and a sales manager like myself will help you out right away. This little folder over here is where you can archive your loans as well if you need to archive them because your customers are no longer in the market to shop, or maybe they went to a different brokerage. You never know. So again, this is where you can check on the status of your deals. Next here would be reports. So this is a pretty cool system here where you can check on your team stats or your own stats here. And so I just suggest really you log on here and kind of take a look at some things. You may not look at your reports as much right now as you would when you refer us, after you refer us, your first few clients to see kind of how things are progressing. A lot of agents have been using us for, 2, 3, 4 years, and they, have many leads that they can track here and kind of see their own production stats within our website. And then you do have some options here in your settings as well. So overall, don't want to overwhelm you with too much information today. Bottom line is you can go in, log into Keller Mortgage now, look around our website, and add a preferred loan officer if you'd like, but also refer us your first client if you'd like as well. Whether you've got a buyer ready to make an offer on a house or you're a listing agent. Last thing I'll add is over here on the right-hand side is where you can see some of your marketing information, buyer flyer, listing flyer, buy sign writers, things of that nature. Also, marketing is up here in the top tab. So again, don't want to go through every in and out of our website and overwhelm you with too much information, but that's essentially how you can contact us, start using us, and access your own portal. So with that, I'll stop talking and let you guys ask a few questions.
Hey, it's Sarah Little. Do you guys offer, what type of mortgages? Is it just the standard FHA, VA conventional, or?
I could jump in here, Scott, if you don't mind. We're gonna basically we're gonna handle the primary mortgages that a majority of the country are going to be looking for, which are conventional. Underneath conventional, you have Home Ready and Home Possible, which are fantastic loan products for those that fit sort of the income profile. And then you've got FHA, VA, and USDA. So those are basically all the bread and butter of mortgages that are out there. We are limited in terms of housing type, so we cannot do what I call the 3 M's, which are mobile, modular, and manufactured. But we can do condos, single family, townhouses, everything. So it's basically, we're going to hit the critical mass of homes and clients out there. But there are some, very minor limitations when it comes to that. We often do get questions about lending on land or construction. That is also one that we're just limited on at this time. It just basically has to either be a new build, which is coming online or will come online from the builder itself down the road, or an already existing home of one kind.
Okay. Have you guys ever looked at the CRA loan?
I have not heard of that, Scott. Have you heard of CRA? What does that pertain to?
Low to moderate income, based on where the house is located and the buyer's income. It offers 100% financing. I think it's Fannie Mae.
At this time, we do not offer any products with 100% financing. So no down payment assistance programs or anything. That seems to be a more unique program. It might be newer. I haven't heard of it yet. But no, long story short, we don't offer any 100% financing programs at this time. I'm sure if it's something Fannie Mae offers, we'll look into it, and we can provide you an update with that if there are any products that will be coming out. But overall, for the low to moderate income households, you're looking at, like he already mentioned, Home Ready and Home Possible, but they do require at least a 3% down payment.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, USDA VA has the capability of a 0% down payment, but obviously for VA loans, you have to be a veteran, and USDA, it's tied to the specific house and area.
Right.
Those would really be the only 2 options that we have on a 0% down payment.
Okay.
A lot of states do have their own DPAs. We just unfortunately just don't have access to any of them for any state at this time.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
No problem.
David, you guys also do jumbo loans, right?
Absolutely, yes. So if you're looking, and again, we can handle any type of jumbo loan. I believe, Scott, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we can go up, is it 2 million?
We go up to 3 million in loan amount.
3 million?
Yep. For right now, we're limited to 20% down payments, but we just reduced our interest rates for jumbo loans, almost a full percent. So we're very, very competitive, if not the best priced jumbo lender out there. We do have a requirement of a 20% down payment at this time. I'm sure once things loosen up, past our COVID era, we will see things loosen up regarding jumbo, but 20% down payment for now.
Yeah, in fact, I've got one in my pipeline right now. It's a $800,000 loan. The client priced me out with another lender. We were at 3.25% on a jumbo rate, and the other rate they were getting was 3.875. So we were substantially lower than whoever she was shopping around with. So it became a very easy decision when it came to that. So yes, I can at least vouch for where we are right now in the current market for jumbo rates. It's just unbelievable.
One last thing I'll add about jumbo before the next question is we do underwrite those in-house, which is huge. We don't delegate those to other underwriters at other mortgage companies. We don't broker them out. We do allow another lender to service them, but we underwrite them fully in-house, which is a huge advantage to turn times.
Yeah,
Awesome.
in fact, we treat them the same in term times. I mean, we don't really have anything where we're telling them, we have to delay the process. Obviously, we ask for the standard issue 30 days. Doing a rush request on a jumbo might be a little challenging, but at the end of the day, we're going to assess the situation so that we can best serve you. To piggyback a little bit, and not really to dive too far away from that question, but to piggyback on Scott's presentation is, we do all of this for you. We honestly do. The margins at this side of our company are very small, and it is set up so that you look better as agents versus any other agency out there. We're not just saving money just for the sake of saving money for your clients. It's the word of mouth that comes with it. It's the ability to say that you can do this where a Century 21 or a Coldwell Banker type realtor just has no competitive advantage to compete with you on that. And really, at the end of the day, it's that word of mouth that's going to win you more and more business. And everything we do is set up to make you look better and you become more appealing in the market.
Yeah. Hey guys, I wanted to give y'all a plug. I mean, I've used y'all several times in the past, and it's always on time. The communication is phenomenal. I can think of 2 different listings where, the question was posed, well, how are you different? And when you go down the list, there's some things that we do different. But Gary has put this along with several other products out there for us to have the leverage of saying, hey guys, look, you use me. I've got this loan that there's no origination. There's $1,000 credit. Hey, I can help you where the others can't. And so when you lay that on the table, they can't put that on. The competition cannot put this on the table. So it's helped seal several deals for us and our team in Tuscaloosa. So this is a great, just great product. We're looking at refinancing, and we're going to be using Keller Mortgage. So
that's a great testimonial. We appreciate that positive feedback. 99% of the loans that we do are purchase loans too. So if you think about it, Gary has put us in place to simply perfect the purchase transaction for you guys. And that's what we do. We are solely focused on purchase transactions for Keller Williams agents and their clients. And that's it. We do offer refinancing. And we're all plenty experienced for refinancing, especially with rates this low. But overall, most of what we do are purchase loans. And that's rare that you find that, in the industry these days. So thanks for the testimonial.
Yeah, it's part of that comprehensive service, and we're the realtor of choice. We're the real estate company of choice. That's not just a saying or a slogan. It's meaningful, and so we want that to make sure, and that's why we're highlighting and spotlighting all of these resources and tools that you guys can be the most knowledgeable neighborhood experts, and you're the realtor of choice for your people. Who else? Has anybody else used Keller Mortgage? I know we have some fairly new agents on the call today, so maybe we don't have any of our people that have used it before. Hey, Scott, before you go, would you mind telling people how they can use this to lead generate?
Yeah, well, I think overall, we don't necessarily have a platform to lead generate for buyers agents, I would say. but what I would say is it's definitely helping people for listings. I'm not a marketing expert in terms of marketing for agents, but I do know we have awesome marketing material in there. I do know that it increases call volume for listing agents when they do advertise and market for Keller Mortgage. I don't necessarily know how every agent does market it for on the buyer side of things. I can't touch base too much on that, but overall, like I said, I do know it helps increase call volume for listings. I'm not sure if David has an experience where he can maybe add to that at all.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of what you're saying. So within the Kelly app or on the website, there is a link for marketing material. And if Scott, I don't know if you still have control and if you can click through it or not, but basically there is just a button there and it will take you to an enormous amount of resources for, they're already professionally created marketing material that you can print, you can attach on social media, things like that. I know not a lot of open houses are being conducted right now, so that's obviously something that's limiting your ability to find new purchase clients. But a lot of my agents who have a listing print off and have a lot of flyers at open houses, and that is a good way that they are then generating new purchase business. And when they have these flyers, it also then encourages, and I think it helps solidify them as an agent. Oh, well, if I go with so-and-so agent, I remember they were talking to me about, their mortgage programs, which would be enticing as well. And it's definitely, I have heard feedback from agents that is a good way that they are generating, some more purchase business. Obviously right now with COVID, that might be limited, but as soon as things open back up, I think that would be a good resource. And you can see here on the screen, these are some of the marketing materials that you can print off.
Yeah, and hey, Scott and David, I mean, even just building up your database, doing a marketing plan around refinancing, you find out, hey, are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? We've got buyers, we've got sellers, we've got people that want to refinance. We need to be the person that's at top of mind anytime anything is considered related to a house. So marketing information run through command on an ad campaign, you're getting that data. And whether they want to refinance, buy, or sell, that's people to build out that database for future business.
And that's an excuse for you to reach out to them, right? To be able to say, hey, look, rates are low. We do refinances. And, oh, you're not interested. You're looking to buy a new house. Great. Now you're in front of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're looking through this to build out databases for not just now business, but future business.
Exactly. Thank y'all for highlighting that.
Absolutely.
That. And there's
every time I should.
Yeah, there's marketing material too in Command, guys. The point is, I'm going to share how to get to their portal. I'll share where some of the marketing stuff is. We need to start utilizing this tool. And that's why we had them on today, so that you guys can learn more about it. Does anybody else have any more questions? Everybody's being kind of quiet today.
Well, I'll just add one more thing. If anyone has questions, they can continue to add or contact us afterwards. I will say one other question that comes up is asking about communication. Are we like a 9 to 5 kind of shop where we are only available on certain hours? And that's not true. We are, again, you're going to refer us your first client through the website. The best part about that too is that it gives you that ABA disclosure to your client, so you don't have to worry about being out of compliance, knowing that we do have some joint ownership between the two companies. So going to the website, as you saw in the marketing piece as well, it just provides you that ABA, makes you more comfortable. If you want to refer us a client, by all means, you can email us, call us, text us directly. We'll send your own client a link if you want as well. But within the Keller Mortgage site itself, you can create your own pre-approval link and post it on Facebook, wherever you want, and your clients can just click on the link on Facebook. So you don't have to send every client to the website. You don't have to log in and send them a link every single time. You can post it, an individualized link for yourself. But with that being said, we are communicating, constantly through multiple different avenues, email, phone, text, you name it, 7 days a week. Now, if a loan officer is out of town, they'll typically have another loan officer covering for them. You know, we are human. We do have lives. If we're at a cookout, we'll let you know, hey, you know, can't get you an updated letter right this second. I'll be home in an hour and I'll get you that updated pre-approval letter. Bottom line is we do pride ourselves on excellent communication. We have buyer and agent surveys at the end of every closing. We do strive for 5-star surveys on every transaction. So we want to impress from start to finish, and that does require excellent communication. So that's the last piece I'll add for you. We'll send you, I've already put in my contact information. We'll send you David's contact information as well. So if you guys need anything at all, you can reach out to us. But again, there's multiple ways to start using us through the website as well.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
David and Scott.
If I could just add one last thing to that is a lot, especially if you're new, it sounds like there's a lot of new agents on here. We are a great tool for screening your clients as well, in terms of, you know, you get a lot of potential clients, you don't know them, maybe you don't know them that well. And so you want to know before you start, you might be really excited to start showing them houses and getting them out there and you know, getting to work with them, which is great. But you want to know if you've got a client that's ready to purchase a house right now. The last thing you want to be doing is taking your nights and weekends away from your family and friends, or just being out there and putting yourself in any type of, you know, outdoor risk in that sense. We are an excellent tool of screening. We're going to pull credit right away. We're going to ask for income and asset documentation. And we are basically having the client do a lot of extra legwork up front to make sure that they are truly pre-approved for you to start showing them houses at a price point that they are interested in. And if there's issues, we're able to coach them through it. If it's things that we know it's going to take, you know, 3, 6, 12 months to get past, we're going to be able to communicate that with your client and with you so that you know what expectations. You might have someone who had a bankruptcy X amount of years ago and they have to wait 12 months before they can actually buy this house that they want to do. Well, that's great information to know. A lot of places are just going to pull credit, ask your client how much they make, and they're going to generate a pre-qualification letter for you. And you're going to start shopping for houses, putting in offers, and then if there's a skeleton in that closet, you're not going to know until you're well into the contract. Our goal by doing that pre-underwrite review is to screen out that so that we can have an effective communication with any clients that might have some issues. So just wanted to add that.
That's awesome.
Especially for the newer agents out there that I know are very, very anxious to get out with clients and get business going.
Yeah.
So.
But we can't skip over the qualification for our buyers because it's going to lead to a lot of frustration on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank y'all. Okay, guys. Let's look at the market. How's the market? This is local activity for May. What do you guys see?
More contracts than listings.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I do also see the closings are slowing up a little bit, but our under contract is still almost double the new listings. So what do we need to be lead generating for right now?
Listings.
Go ahead, Miss Vicky. Just pop up out of nowhere. That's exactly right. So what are some of the things that you guys are seeing and doing to lead generate for listings? Who's taken a listing lately and how did you get it? Katie Douglas.
I'm trying to think of which one. Basically just reaching out to my sphere over the past couple of months and saying, hey, what do you need? How are you? How's the family? I do have a client that had a house in property management and they have a primary residence. So I sold the rental property for them and they also knew the selling agent. And so obviously I made sure that I did a phenomenal job, as I always do, to make sure that when they get ready to list their house, that they're going to go through me. So always just being on top of stuff and being top of mind is crucial.
Doing those care calls.
Yes.
Adam, how are
And-
you guys taking new listings? Uh-oh, who else? I can't see you.
Oh, I was just about to say, even with the expires or for sale by owners, if you have those in your data bank, you can go back to them and revisit them. And if you haven't been in touch with them, you can go back and revisit those and tell them about the market and let them know this is the great time.
Exactly. We are in need of those listings. So if you have somebody like a for sale by owner or expired that you are on the fence about communicating with, or maybe like Vicki said, you've been talking with before, you want to revisit them, look at the evidence right here. What are you waiting on? You have that conversation and create that urgency. Adam, how are you guys taking listings? What's y'all's tactic been?
Honestly, the existing listings, if you're working them right, should be producing more. And so, on that, making sure that you're answering your sign calls, right? I was telling Katie Douglas and Katie Woodard Monday,
Oh yeah, please share that story. That's a good one.
So, knowing your scripts. I had a young lady call me, and she was interested in the new construction that I had, and she asked several questions, and I told her, I said, look, it's already under contract, but we've got another one coming out of the ground that should be ready in 45 days. And she said, well, I asked her if she had to sell her house, and she said she did. And so I asked her if she had an agent. She said, well, I'm talking with so-and-so, which was a newer agent, and I was able to script around that and kept asking questions to the point where I could say, so you're still in the interviewing process? And she said, well, I guess so. I said, well, you hadn't signed anything yet. She said, no. I said, so can I come by 5 o'clock this afternoon and show you how we can get your house sold and make this transition smooth? And I also leveraged the Keller Mortgage on her, and she's interested in that option. And so, never take no for an answer, and leverage your listings. You need to be marketing through that listing, whether it's mail outs, door knocks. We're at the point now, I feel like that, even there's systems to do call arounds, some things that Vicki and I have talked about in the past, working expired listings, working for sale by owners, having those conversations and using your Google Calendar to set up your follow-up as you're doing your lead gen. It does several things. You don't ever wonder what I've got to do today when you get in the office if you've been lead generating consistently over 30 days, because you've got your follow-up already set up on your calendar to reach back out. And that does another thing. That builds confidence in those buyers or sellers that, hey, Katie, I told you I was going to call you today at 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. I just want to let you know I was thinking about you. Where are you guys at now? You told me you needed 30 days to think about it, or you needed 30 days to get the house ready, or, hey, you had to pay off the credit cards in order to get your credit up. Have you followed up with your lender? Have you completed those tasks? And they say, no, I need another week. Well, hey, Katie, you know what? I'm going to call you in about 5 days. I'll follow up on this day. You're doing what you say you're going to do. And 90% of the competition out there gets knocked out of they're not even in the picture because they don't do what they say they're going to do. So using that lead gen time to go ahead and lay out your lead follow-up time to reach out these people, that is how we've built a successful team, is laying it all out. So use your listings that you've got to generate more listings. When you get them under contract, market it. Do call arounds.
Well, I was going to do the whiteboard, and for some, I don't know if y'all can see my screen. It did not pull up the whiteboard. I was going to do the timeline, Adam, as you were talking about that, and something went haywire with my computer to do the, here we go. Woo! So like Adam was talking about, here's the timeline of a transaction. Can y'all see the whiteboard? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you got your lead gen, and then you got your closing. And all of this is a system and a process with scripts and checklists and all of that following the model. But what Adam's talking about is right here. This is where most people mess up. And I'm not going to do the Jason Abrams thing because people get upset about it. But that's the follow-up. And that's where the fortune's at, is in the follow-up and putting in place systems. If you say, hey, I'm checking on you, how are you doing? You're doing your care calls, and it's care, compassion, common sense, right? And when they bring up real estate and you say, oh, I can help you with this, but you don't put that on your schedule, a lot of times what happens is it falls through the cracks. And it's not by your intention to do that, yet that we can't get from lead generation to closing without the follow-up and making sure that you have those solid systems in place. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. All of us, me, Adam, Susan, Jaleesa, everybody, every individual agent, every team, is so important to make sure you're systematizing that.
So if you look at this right here, and we know that, let's just say, Vicki, your goal is 36 transactions, right, for the year.
Okay.
We need 3 closings a month to hit that, right?
Yes.
All right. So if we need 3 transactions per month, then we probably need to double that to ensure that we're going to get the 3, right?
Right.
So if we have 6 in the pipeline and we have a fallout rate, right? You know that by tracking your numbers, but if you're not tracking your numbers, we can't iron that down, right? So that's the reason why it's important to track your numbers, so that, hey, we know the variables in the equation to make sure that we hit our goal.
Right.
So if our goal is to have 3 and we allow for follow-up for 6, what's the probability we hit the 3? Pretty high. If you got 6 in the pipeline, you're not going to have a 50% fallout typically. So if we're lead genning, hey, if I need 3 closings and I've got to have 6 to ensure that, then if I go on a listing appointment and I get 75% of my listing appointments or my buyer consults, there's a formula to lay all this stuff out. And then it's just like, Vicki and I have been talking. We don't stop lead genning every day until we get, Vicki, what's your number?
I want until I get 4.
Right.
I want 4 listings a month. So I don't get off the phone until I get a listing appointment, because if I get off the phone without a listing appointment, then I have not worked for that day. I work every day.
Right.
I can't not afford to tell my husband I hadn't been to work today.
And hey, Vicki, will you share with us like the breakthrough that gave you this revelation that you got to this point, and what the results were?
Well, a lot of you all probably has heard me say that my time is 6 to 8. And what happened was I didn't get any appointments when I was lead generating one day early. So when I went back from like 6, I left just enough information, not too much that they wouldn't, if they were going to call me back, they would be curious as to what I was talking about. So what I noticed at that time, I don't know if people has gotten home, got situated, got dinner started, or they were sitting down and just waiting. Well, if they didn't answer the phone then, I noticed that they called me back. So that's how I realized from 6 to 8 was my time. And when they called me back, they wanted to know what I was talking about. What did I want to tell them about the market? What was going on in the market? And we've had a seller's market for a while. So I was able to tell them what I meant about a seller's market and how it was beneficial to them. If you just had an inkling of a thought, give me a chance to come and sit down with you and tell you why it's a seller's market and what I can look at your home and see what we can possibly put it on the market for in comparison to the ones that are actively listed now and those that has sold.
It led you to, just like what you're saying, initially when we talked about lead generation, it was the time to make calls. Whereas after our strategy meeting and conversation, it was an intention and a purpose of I'm going to set an appointment. So what do I need to do to re-gear what I'm doing? That my time is to set an appointment, and that's a dollar productive activity, that I'm not just making calls. And then the conversation with you was going home and your husband says, what'd you do today? No, I have an appointment today to meet my goal to fund our big life.
Well, with all that, knowing your goal, knowing your purpose, and Vicki, I think we had the conversation, hey, look, if I lead Jim between 8 and 10 or 2 and 4, whatever it is, I don't care.
Right.
I've got to set 2 appointments. And if I go home and I hadn't set those 2 appointments, I'm not done with my job.
Right.
Because when you're setting those appointments, there's future business lining up. And when you do this day in and day out, anybody on this call can have unlimited income, but they got to have the commitment to do the job to get the payoff. So when you treat it like a business and you come in and you lead gen until you get those 2 appointments or 4 appointments or whatever it is to hit your goals, and we know what it takes based on the goal, based on your ability to lead gen. And as you continue to sharpen your skills and your scripts get better and you're able to tie somebody down to an appointment quicker, then it doesn't take 2 hours. Or you can do 2 hours and make more money. Or you can do 6 hours and hire an admin or 2 admins and a buyer agent, and you can just sit there on the phone all day and never drive anywhere and just lead gen and make business. So it all comes down to your goals, what you want to do with this business, and what your commitment level is to achieve that. So if anybody wants to sit down and go over some stuff, run the numbers, I'm here, and we'll make time. I want to see everybody hit their goals and be successful.
Yeah, I've been in some pretty awesome, powerful strategy appointments lately. And so anybody that is interested in that, please just schedule an appointment. Adam's here at the beginning of most weeks. And so we can all go in together. And that's what we did with Vicki. What was your goal when you started this, Vicki? We started the conversation. Would you say you want to take 4 listings that month?
I wanted 4 listings a month, and I wanted 4 closings a month.
What were your results when you first just dug in and turned up the intensity?
Oh, wow. When I first started, one listing led me to 4. And yes, they were from the same person. Nevertheless, still, I had to, stay in contact with them and let them know how important and what was going on in the market, because initially they didn't want to list all 4, but they did, because when I knew what was going on in the market. And it is very important because, like Katie was saying one day, you don't want to just say, oh, the market is good. They want to know the specific.
Yeah.
They want to know the specifics.
Yep.
Well, when you know the numbers, it builds a lot of confidence in somebody. When you say, hey, it's 440 new listings, 833 contracts. average days on the market's 36, whatever the information is, you're perceived as a professional when you know the numbers. It's not just good or it's okay. But hey, through that right there, I remember one of my big breaks when I first got in the business, I was going out for a listing appointment. It went horrible. I didn't get it. And I left, and I had committed to myself, anytime I passed a for sale by owner sign, I was going to stop and call it. And I was down in the dumps. I remember coming through 5 Points in Cottondale and come down the hill, and I just looked to the left, and there was an old crusty, 4x8 sign, commercial listing, laying on the ground and behind a silk screen. And I looked and I thought, man, and the brake lights were coming on. We were stopping at the red light in front of Food World. And I thought, I did commit to do that, so I guess I'll turn around. So I turned around, went over there, got the number, called a guy. And he answered the phone, and no, he didn't answer the phone. He went to voicemail. He called me back the next day and said, hey, this is Lamar Chatham. I said, Mr. Chatham, I went through the whole spiel. And he said, well, hey, my wife's sick. Let me call you back. And I thought, he ain't never going to call back. And come to find out, it was Lamar Chatham that owns Chatham Oil. And he had, he's got about 20 pieces of property in Tuscaloosa. And he did call me back and said, son, I appreciate you calling me. I was hoping that I'd sell this last year, but it didn't happen. And I got 5 listings for you. Come over here and meet with me. And never ask any questions.
10 hours.
It was, I want to say it was like $3.5 million worth of listings. And we sold every one of those old rusted up gas stations. And it helped me get my name out there. So don't ever think that I can't do it, I shouldn't do it. That drunk monkey will tell you all day long to keep going. It's a bad day.
It's like you knew this was my next slide, Adam.
I didn't.
We practiced this beforehand.
I'm telling y'all, commit to calling the for sale by owners. I don't care if you've been in the business 20 years, call them. They've got a sign in the yard with their number on it saying, I want to sell my property. And I'm telling you, I know Vicky's using some technology that I use to get listings. And I'm telling y'all, if you'll pick up the phone, commit to lead genning every day and setting a certain number of appointments every day, and don't stop till you get them, you will be highly successful in this business.
Well, and what they talked about, to piggyback on that today in the shift call, it was talent comes with time over task. So when you agents maybe that haven't been in the business very long look at seasoned agents or different people, one, you may see that as talent, but it's a lot of experience because they've just been doing the activity. And it's not going to just happen until you do the action. That's the first probably hard lesson you learn in real estate is a license does not equal a business. You have got to put in the time and with the activities and the lead generation to make it happen. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Well, too, with that, Katie, it's very unusual now that I put in the time and I work my tail off the first 3 years. And now the business is rolling in. I don't even have, I get listings all the time now, but it's based off of the hard work and the grit up front. People always want what other people have, but you don't know what they did to get there.
Right.
So you got to do your time. So, and you can do it.
Well, hey guys, it's already 10 this morning. I hope that Keller Mortgage was enlightening for you and you guys saw that the tools and resources we have. It is Gary Keller's vision for us to be the real estate company of choice for our agents and for their customers and for your customers. And so that's Keller Mortgage is a huge tool and an opportunity to utilize for us as an agent to set us apart and to get the listings, to to convert the buyer and all of those things. So I want you guys to be aware and use it. And I'm going to share some resources inside of our group where how do you get to the portal and all of that stuff. So you guys can start utilizing that. I had wanted to do our bold ahas today. We ran out of time. And so we will do those next Tuesday. So all you bold graduates, I want you to look at your notes and think about and come back next Tuesday. We're going to share our ahas from bold. Check out season 4 of Think Like a CEO. It has begun. It's been some really great episodes. And then today or yesterday, Empire Building podcast, the Empire Builders came out, and it's women rainmakers for the first time. They were featured on the panel at Family Reunion this year. And I listened to an episode this morning and already cried. It's so good. It's talking about balancing life and having a big business, but it's more than having a big business. It's having the big life. And that's a theme that we talk about a lot too. So check that out. And Pivot Shift Ahead, y'all, those calls continue to be amazing every morning. It's a Facebook group. If you're not in the group, join the group. Just look for Pivot Shift Ahead. And the calls are from 7 to about 7:20 every morning. They're in the Facebook group live. A lot of other resources in that group. And so just check that out. It's awesome to be a part of that. There's about 75,000 agents worldwide in it. So it's pretty neat. And that's all I had for today. We will do bold ahas next Tuesday. Does anybody have anything else before we wrap up today? All right. Thank y'all for joining us. I hope y'all have an awesome day. See you later.
See y'all.